Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for joining. I see we already have a few people in here. I'm going to give it just another 2 minutes or so to give everybody who registered a chance to join. Feel free to use the chat feature in the bottom right-hand corner. I'll send a little message there now. And otherwise, just hang out until I get started. And my name is Megan, and I will be your host today. All right, I'm going to turn my microphone and camera off, but I will come back in about 2 minutes and get started. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and get started. We have a little group today, but that's perfectly fine. Again, my name is Megan. I'm your host today. Today, the topic is Spring Renewal, Streamlining Seasonal License Renewals. Again, if at any time you want to use the chat, you can ask questions there or communicate with me. We also have a questions tab to the left of that. Feel free to put any of your questions in there and I'll answer them at the end. And I hope everybody is having a great morning. I'm excited that the topic is spring-based. I'm very excited for spring. I feel like I'm in Alabama, and I feel like we got a taste of it a couple of weeks ago, and now it's just cold again. We also got a taste of spring with our tornado warnings over the weekend. I think like 3 tornadoes in my general area hit, so that was fun. But living in North Alabama, I'm just kind of used to it. I hope everyone else is had a great weekend and is looking forward to spring as well. I'm even wearing kind of a springish shirt to celebrate. I know that the groundhog said 6 more weeks of winter, but in Alabama we use Sand Mountain Sam, who is an opossum, and he said that we're getting spring 6 weeks early, so I'm going based off of that. All right, guys, we're going to talk about how you can streamline your seasonal license renewals with HeyGov. I'm going to go over some just basic information. We'll take a look at our system and how it works. If anybody is interested at pricing at the end, feel free to let me know and we can communicate it about it over email. So again, thanks for joining. All right, so the licensing landscape. There's a lot of different licenses and permits. Thankfully, our system can handle them all. I think the ones we're going to focus more on today are renewals. And I know building permits aren't really in there. I just wanted to throw that in to let you know that we can handle calculations with building permits. The licenses that come up for renewal most often are things like business permits, pet licenses, operator licenses, and If there's any other licenses or permits that your municipality handles that are renewed seasonally, we can also have those in our system. And we make it really easy tracking renewals who needs their licenses renewed. With the pet licenses, we have a lot of templates for dog licenses, but we can also handle things like chicken licenses, which I didn't know was a thing until I started working here. If you license cats, we can also do that. And I've even seen some goat licenses out there. So some challenges in traditional licensing is manual paper overload is probably the biggest thing. I think everybody just kind of has a disdain for actual physical paper now. You have to find space for it. You have to find space in your desk and your filing cabinets, and it's kind of all piles up. And when you bring things digital, it encapsulates it all into your computer, which is really nice. And we do have cloud storage, which is a lot easier than having to handle your filing cabinets. You also have error-prone processes. Things are a lot easier to miss when it's on paper. For example, with our system, it kind of automatically tracks if people aren't filling in answers they need to be filling in, and it prompts them to. It won't let them submit their application without it. And you don't really have a process for that with paper-based work. You're just gonna have to give it back, get in contact with the resident, get them to fill it out correctly, and that's just a longer process. Renewals are also difficult because you're either having to use a spreadsheet to enter in all this information and tracking it that way, or just manually going through the applications, which is a hassle. And also limited citizen engagement. When you have paper-based processes, you're relying on having to email or call a resident and get a hold of them that way. When you bring it online, it can be a little bit more asynchronous, where you're getting in touch with them through the system, and then when they're able to get to it, they can, and you're letting them know of what they need to fix or any updates regarding their applications. So with our product Hey License, you can bring all of that online. We can also embed payments for a really easy way to take payments for any of those renewals or applications. We have e-signatures, which makes it really easy to get the signatures you need, and workflow automation, which is so awesome and very much needed in a lot of municipalities, so that you're not having to go and manually take the paperwork over to the police department. It just automatically sends it to them through our system. So with Hey License, the steps are very easy. So the resident is going to go in, fill in their application, then it's going to be sent it's going to have an automated review before it's submitted to make sure they filled it out correctly and they answered all the questions they needed to answer, uploaded the files they needed to upload. And then it's going to send it off to you. If you have certain fields that you marked that you need to go in and check or approve or add any additional information about, it'll send it to you to do those steps, or any other departments that need to take a look at it. And then at the end, once you approve the application, it will actually send them a digital license. So you don't even have to handle that part unless you're not allowed to have a digital version. I feel like most municipalities do allow it now, but the whole process can be brought online. And the benefits are astounding. You're going to have time savings. It can reduce your administrative tasks by up to 70% in regards to licensing. You're going to have improved accuracy because the system's going to do a lot of these checks for you. You're going to have enhanced compliance. Those people who are not willing to come in office and turn in a dog license, they don't have excuses anymore. They can do it online. I know for me, it's really hard to get in office during business hours, and then the stamps are expensive. So I'm a lot less likely to do something if I have to print it out. I don't have a printer. I have to go to the library. If I have to print it out, mail it, or take it into office, it's just a lot more steps. Whereas if I can just go in and fill my dog license and do the whole renewal process online, it's a lot easier and I'm a lot more likely to do it. And that goes for a lot of I would say, millennials and younger generations. We just kind of expect things to be online. You're also going to have better citizen services. It's 24/7 access, so they're not limited to being able to contact you just whenever you're in office, which is probably while they're also at work. So it just allows you to better reach your residents where they're at. So before Hay License, your residents had to have long wait times at City Hall, confusing paper forms, limited paper options, and uncertainty about application status. After Hay License, they can apply from anywhere, anytime. They have intuitive online forms and multiple payment methods, as well as real-time status updates. And I see we have some people that joined late. That's perfectly fine. We'll have the recording automatically sent afterwards. And we're not even halfway through yet, so you're good. If at any time you have any questions, feel free to throw them in chat or in the questions tab, and I'll get to them at the end. So now we're going to talk about the HeyGov admin dashboard, the Hay License admin dashboard, which I feel like is one of the biggest benefits of having Hay License. So as I mentioned before, we have unlimited cloud storage. So all of your applications are going to live in our system. You don't have to print them out unless you just want to. You don't have to worry about them living in your email if you receive them that way. You have them all in one handy place where you can filter them out by form, the status of the form, the applicant name, when you receive the form, and also when the form needs to be renewed, when it expires, so their application. So you can filter out all of the dog licenses that are expiring in February. Or if you do June and December renewals, you can just filter it that way. And we also have a way where you can bulk contact all of the people who needs their licenses renewed. So you can shoot them a message, remind them that they need to go in and renew their dog licenses, their business licenses. You can do all of that within our system. You can also filter it out by department and if they've paid or not. So this really helps, again, especially with the filtering. It helps you track renewals, and, you can also set it up where it sends them a notification whenever it's getting close to time for renewal. So you're getting all these reminders to people so that they know to go in and fill it out again. And the process is online, so it's so easy and convenient for them. Inside of Hay License, we have a lot of helpful features. For example, one of my favorites is request answer change. This one's helpful so that you're not having to actually call or email and tell them to go in and fix something. So with this, once it's been submitted, they aren't able to go back in and edit unless you request for the answers to be changed. And so, for example, if they put in a driver's license number and it's not pulling up in the police department system, you feel like they probably just made a typo, you can hover over that, click request answer change, write them a little note, and send it off to them. When they get it, they'll be able to go in and edit only that answer. And it's a lot less back and forth. It's just, hey, I see that this needs updated. I'm going to make a note about it, request for them to update it. They get the request and then they update it on their own. You're not having to hassle them. It'll send them automated reminders to go in and update that application. So you're not having to do as much hand holding. So I really like this feature. And again, we also have the workflow management. You can see that at the top. It shows what departments are going to receive this form when it's submitted, and they each have steps that they need to fill out or approve. It also tracks the approvals, the status of each department, what they've done stepwise in the application over to the right. We can see at the top, the building department approved one step. They're waiting on the second step. The applicant has paid. And then there's also a last step for admin to fill out that still needs done. So it's really helpful. You can get a glance of where the application's at, who still needs to do their part in the process of the permit. And so if you need to go hassle those people, you can, but it will send them reminders. Hey, you have a submitted application. You need to go in and review your steps. We also have custom review steps. So for this workflow management, if there's information that these departments need to enter in, we can build custom review steps for them to go in and fill in this information. Again, completely custom. It's whatever you need. This is an inspector check that's built into a building permit. So it has a question like what codes are not being met. They need to sign off on it at the end. And it also has date of inspection and time of inspection included. But this would have whatever you need. So for example, with dog licenses, a lot of times people need to enter in the dog tag numbers. So these review steps is a really easy way to get whatever information you need for this permit and put into the system. And it's also going to track and keep that information for bookkeeping purposes. If anybody ever needs to look back on it and see each step that was done, it's going to have a timestamp, a date, and then whatever was done in the application. So with Hey License, you're going to have a 15% reduction in operating costs with your bringing the licenses online, about a $35,000 average annual savings, and that's for mid-sized municipalities, and a 95% paperwork reduction if you're bringing your whole licensing process online. One of the most important things, though, about bringing your processes online is making sure that your residents are aware of the digital services. You need to help them adopt them. So one of the first things you can do is just make them aware of them. So some good ways of doing this, if you have a Facebook page for your municipality, post it there. If you have a newspaper, local newspaper, or news stations that people really listen to or follow on Facebook or watch on TV, or again, just regular newspapers, do press releases. Let them know about the digital services. Other ways is just making a notice on your website, spreading by word of mouth, having posters at your municipal offices, just letting people know. That's if people don't know, they're not going to be able to use them. The second thing is education. You can host walkthroughs at your local library or at City Hall, just showing maybe, especially the elderly population, how they can access and use it. So we have a mobile app, and some people might need a little extra help on how to download the mobile app, but it's really convenient once they have it downloaded. You can also access our services just on your web browser, but I think it's really convenient for them to have the mobile app so that they can get updates on their phone about their application, and again, those reminders for renewals. And another thing is make sure that you're supporting your resident. If anybody has questions, just make sure you're getting to those in a timely manner. We do have a tier package that allows you to put your support off on us. So we basically become another employee of your office, and we'll respond to any of those support requests from your residents. And then provide incentives. Let them know that there's going to be a faster processing for online applications. And you can even phase out paper applications for the most part. You know, you might still want to allow them in special circumstances, but you can phase them out and only accept online applications. Just let them know it's going to be a faster process. It's easier. They can pay when they submit their application. Provide those incentives for them. We are proud to have an inclusive design for all ages, including a senior-friendly interface. We make sure our text is big and that our steps are simple. So even those who aren't so tech-savvy can still use HeyGov. We're mobile optimized. Again, we do have a mobile app that's available on both Android and Apple devices. And we have cross-device accessibility, so you can use it on your laptop, your desktop computer, or your phone or tablet. And we also have very high standards for security and compliance. Data's sent using HTTPS, so everything's encrypted. We also regularly update our infrastructure to make sure that everything's working smoothly, and we're always applying new security patches. We use Stripe's PCI compliant network for our payments, and that ensures top-level payment security. They're one of the most used payment processors in the world. We also have disaster recovery, so we back up all of your information. So if anything happens, we can recover all of the lost applications for you. So you don't have to worry about any data being lost. So whenever you sign up with HeyGov, how it normally goes, especially with Hey License, is the first day we're going to send you a little welcome email. We're going to give you the ability to schedule your own appointment with us to have a discussion about what you want to prioritize. We'll also get you to send us over your goals and what you would like to focus on first. And then in your first onboarding, we're going to start creating your payment portals. We're going to start creating your forms. Whatever your priority is, that's what we're going to focus on. So we'll walk through the challenges, and then if you have any specifics, Like if you have a custom form that we haven't done before, we will talk through about how we're going to adapt and build that into HeyGov. And then the third week, we should be going live with your first priorities, your licenses and applications, any of the payments that you wanted online. We should be going live by week 3. And then after that, we're going to check in and support you as much as needed. You can always schedule additional onboarding calls with us. You can send us over additional forms to bring online. Whatever you need, we are there for you. So for the next step, if you're interested in bringing your licensing and renewal process online, feel free to schedule a demo with me, and I'll send a link in a moment. We'll work on a custom plan for you. Every municipality is different, so we do custom pricing based on population and what your needs are. And then we're going to have a seamless implementation. We're going to go over these onboarding steps. We're going to do this in action with you. And then we'll transform your licensing. We'll help you through every step, and that includes getting the word out to your residents. We can help you out with marketing material. We can write press releases for you. We do have a marketing package, so whatever you need, we can support you with. And if you'd like to chat with me and you don't want to talk through chat here, if you want to schedule a call, you need pricing, feel free to email me. I'm going to drop my email here, and then I'll also send my booking link. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to go ahead and drop them. I have my email in chat, so if you need it, it's there. So I can move on to the next page. And give me one moment. I'm going to get my link for you guys. Let's see. Here we go. So feel free to go in and schedule a one-on-one demo. In the demo, we can talk more about what your needs are, what we can do for you, and if you have any special circumstances, we can talk if our software can handle those. And I'll hang around for about 5 to 10 more minutes, depending on if I get any questions in. So feel free to drop them in chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to hang out. And thank you all for attending. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hang out with me for a bit and learn a little bit more about what services we offer. Thank you, Laurie. I haven't talked to you in a while. How are you doing? And everybody will have a recording of this again afterwards. I think it's colder where you are than for me in Alabama, but I've also been trying to stay warm. We had a fake spring a couple weeks ago, and I thought it's gonna be so nice and warm the rest of the season. It was like 60s, low 70s, and now it's rainy and between in the 30s and 40s. And it's gonna get colder next week and be in like 19, 18 degrees, which I'm not excited about. We had tornadoes over the weekend. Ooh, one. That is rough. Yeah, no thank you. I'm dreading it's supposed to be, I guess later this week, it's supposed to be between 18 degrees and 21 degrees, and I'm dreading that. We also have a chance of snow on Wednesday. 70% chance. Dreading that. But I'm glad it's not 1 degrees here. Thank you again for attending, and I hope you're doing good. All right, do we have any other comments, questions? If you don't have any questions, feel free to hop off. Again, I have my booking link and my email there if you'd like to get a quote or book a demo with me.